Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia Malone. This is TCM, where we are continuing to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Milestone Films. And back with me once again is one of the founders of Milestone Films, Dennis Doros. Hi.
Hi, Alicia.
So you are also the president of the Association of Moving Image Archivists. Can you tell us a little bit about that group and what do you do?
Well, AMIA, Association of Moving Image Archivists, is also having its 30th anniversary this year. And it is an association of nearly 1,000 archivists and friends of archivists from around the world, 28 countries counting, the latest. And we are about facilitating the preservation and access to our moving image heritage.
And one of the events that you do each year is called the Archival Screening Night. Tell us about this event and how did it start?
Archival Screening Night is my favorite night of the year. It's really a show and tell, a show off of all the archivists. And it really just started informally in the 1980s, before AMIA became AMIA, people bringing projectors and prints and watching it in a hotel room. And then it evolved into this very elaborate event where it was curated, 20 films a year, but it was private because of some of the films that could be shown, the rights questions. And one of the first things I wanted to do as president was to get a version that we could take around and show to the public. It's just an incredible cabinet of wonders of films from around the world.
That is a great way to describe it, a cabinet of wonders. Tonight we're going to see the most recent version of the Archival Screening Night, which is a compilation of clips and music videos and ads and little oddities. Some of my favorite parts of this include newsreel footage of Josephine Baker in Holland in 1928 dancing with clogs. I also love one of the opening clips where it's a weird music video to a surreal 1960s song called Bend It. What are some of your favorite little clips and films that we're going to see tonight?
Four Kings from Thailand, which is this wonderful gangster film from the 1960s that's lost, but they still have the promotional material for it. Cab Calloway is just wonderful, and that material was donated by his widow to the National Museum of African American History and Culture. The French comedy that iFilm Museum gave us, that's hand-colored. Curious Alice from the National Archives, which is one of the most bizarre anti-drug commercials ever made.
Yeah, that Curious Alice is really interesting because it's an anti-drug film, but also Lil Alice seems to be having a great time on her drug trip. I mean, so many little surprises, I imagine, you discover every year. So what is the process like for curating all of these different clips?
Well, every spring we make a call out to the archives around the world, and I sometimes email people saying, I really want something from you this year. And for this one, we did make special requests like the LGBTQ one from This in the Life from UCLA is just wonderful. So for the audience, we kind of went to some of the best of her, but every year there's a discovery of, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's so amazing.
And I imagine that each year when a wider audience gets to see a compilation like this, that it exposes a new audience to the work that archivists do, because I imagine that's an area that not many people know too much about.
Well, this was the first one we've ever done that was allowed to be seen by the public, and it's shown in about 30 cities around the world. And yeah, we're getting emails from people saying, you've just woken me up to what archivists do and what they have. And it really gives you a different view of, it's not the best of hits, it's not the best of Hollywood or even feature films, it's just anything from anywhere.
It's so entertaining to watch. So let's take a look. From 2020, here is Archival Screening Night.
Bend it, bend it, bend it, just a little bit. You need to show your liking. Show me.
สี่คิงนางดีสี่คิงยิ่งใหญ่เด็ดจริงถึงใจใช่ใครสี่คิงอมราก็มาแสดงชั้นเชิงร้อนแรงดูบทบาทผู้สะบันชายาอาคมจรูนประมินวงทองสุทินประจวบหม่อมชันวงวันวินวันชัยชนไหนดาวยวนสุรินทร์ก็ควรเชิญต่อยเป็นผู้ดูกันสันตสิริพลิกสุขเสวีทั้งเท่าอ้วนผีมารวมกันพร้อมครบครันครั้งก่อนเฮาดงปะคงจำได้ยอดเยี่ยมเพียงใดจำเอาไว้คือกันครั้งใหม่สี่คิงทั้งยิงโรมรันตลกประชันดูกันแล้วเริงราทั้งสี่วานอนนั่นคือสมพงษ์ติดกว่าเฮาดงดูในตอกวางท่าทั้งแม่ชูสีที่กันหลายหาที่ลือลั่นฟ้าคือดอกดินขาวดังสำลีสี่วานอนนั่นคือสมพงษ์เด็ดว่าเฮาดงดูในตอกวางท่าทั้งแม่ผูสีที่กันหลายหาที่ลือลั่นฟ้าคือดอกดินขาวดังสำลีสี่คิงนางดีสี่คิงยิ่งใหญ่เด็ดจริงถึงใจใช่ใครเชิงร้อนแรงดูบทบาทผู้สะบันชายาอาคมจรูนประมินวงทองสุทินประจวบหม่อมชันวงวันวินวันชัยชนไหนดาวยวนสุรินทร์ก็ควรเชิญต่อยเป็นผู้ดูกันสันตสิริพลิกสุขเสวีทั้งเท่าอ้วนผีมารวมกันพร้อมครบครันครั้งก่อนเฮาดงปะคงจำได้ยอดเยี่ยมเพียงใดจำเอาไว้คือกันครั้งใหม่สี่คิงทั้งยิงโรมรันตลกประชันดูกันแล้วเริงราทั้งสี่วานอนนั่นคือสมพงษ์เด็ดกว่าเฮาดงดูในตอกวางท่าทั้งแม่ชูสีที่กันหลายหาที่ลือลั่นฟ้าคือดอกดินขาวดังสำลีสี่วานอนนั่นคือสมพงษ์เด็ดว่าเฮาดงดูในตอกวางท่าทั้งแม่ผูสีที่กันหลายหาที่ลือลั่นฟ้าคือดอกดินขาวดังสำลีสี่คิงนางดีสี่คิงยิ่งใหญ่เด็ดจริงถึงใจใช่ใครสี่
Oh, I'm late. I'm late. I'm too Everything's different. Even me. I'm not somebody else, but I don't feel like I'm really me either. Oh, hi, who are you? I said hello. Is that marijuana? Pot? Grass?
Who are you?
I'm not sure. I know who I was this morning, but I've changed. That is marijuana, isn't it?
Changed, huh? Well, you'll get used to it in time.
I don't think so. I like being really me, don't you? And today being all different sizes is confusing. I don't know how high I'm supposed to be anymore.
How high do you want to be?
No, I guess I don't want to be that kind of high. Why do you?
What kind of question is that? You're just a kid, aren't you?
Sure, I'm still growing up, and I'm supposed to ask questions. Why does it make you so angry? Don't you know
Angry?
why you do it?
I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not angry.
But you haven't answered my questions either. Hi. You must be the March Hare.
Yeah. My friend's the Dormouse. He's sleeping, and the Hatter, he's traveling.
Can I just sit here a minute? I'm just a little tired.
You ought to have some pep pills, uppers, amphetamines, speed. Make you feel super good. Super good.
Do you feel okay now?
Oh, well, nah. Sometimes you crash. You get kind of sick, and that's scary. You just kind of come all apart inside.
Well, it's very nice of you to offer them to me, but if
Offered
that's
them?
what
Who
they-
offered them? These are mine.
Oh, I'm glad you're waking up.
I'm not. Oh, a new face. Do you use barbiturate sleeping pills?
No. Should I?
No. Why in the world would you want to wind up woozy?
Why is a bluebird like a bottle cap?
You shouldn't waste time with riddles that haven't got any
Time?
answers.
Listen, I can tell you more about time in seconds than you can hear in years. Like time, the
Time? What time is
Time?
it?
How should I know?
Time.
Forever.
It's 6 o'clock. Tea time. Time to take a pill. Dynamite. Dynamite.
Oh, yes.
Keep this under your hat, friend. But she doesn't know what we're doing.
Yes, I do. You live here in this beautiful place. It could be Wonderland, and all you do is take those...
Pep pills.
Sleeping pills.
LSD, marijuana, heroin.
Stop it! Do you know what you're doing?
Well, what are we doing?
What time is
It's
it?
6 o'clock. Tea time. Time to take a pill.
No! Why?
Just take a few amphetamines and you can be like me. Will you? Won't you? Will you? Won't you? Won't you join the dance? Will you?
Now, do you know where you are? Go home.
It's too late. It's too late.
No! It's not too late.
There it was, Jerusalem, a choir boy's dream come true. Its walls and domes and towers and minarets moved along like a hymn, and the sight of it made me catch my breath. The city still has its gates as in the olden days, like the Lion's Gate. Then on down along the walls, the big Damascus Gate, turrets and all, right out of a picture book. I never saw such narrow streets. I think they ought to have been a little wider, so at least I could know which side I was walking on. There was no room for carts or automobiles, but there was plenty of traffic. I pushed through crowds of people. I dodged between lemonade dealers and water pipe smokers. I saw goats and donkeys right out in the middle of the street. Then I got a ride on a donkey. It made driving a Jeep seem like a trip to heaven. Jerusalem the Holy, a holy city for three great religions. I visited, of course, the famous Dome of the Rock, or the Mosque of Omar, as they call it, which stands on the site of King Solomon's temple. Inside the dome is the rock where Abraham prepared to sacrifice his son Isaac. We looked out on other mosques in the temple area. We saw the Mount of Olives and other famous landmarks rising around the city. They looked just as I had pictured them from the stories in the Bible. And there was the little town of Bethlehem, where David and Jesus were born. We saw the Garden of Gethsemane. Then we went down and walked among the olive trees, as old as the hills themselves. We climbed down into the tombs of the old Jewish kings. Tombs carved thousands of years ago out of the solid rock. Huge halls and rooms and galleries dug underground. I don't know how. Then, suddenly, here was a Jerusalem I never heard about in Sunday school. The big modern Jewish agency building, which is the headquarters for all the work of rebuilding Palestine as a homeland for the Jewish people. It was from this building that we started out on a tour of the land. No more walking. We left Jerusalem behind us, getting a last view at its hills dotted with ancient shrines, worn beautiful with age and looking what they were, a part of the world's most famous history. Then we started down and down towards the Jordan River and the Dead Sea. Mile after mile, we drove down the most desolate, godforsaken valley a man could imagine. Nothing, I was sure, could ever be made out of a country like this. We dropped until we reached sea level. Then we dropped some more, 4,000 feet altogether, until at last we reached the Dead Sea, the lowest point on the face of the earth. Near the shore, we passed a potash works, where the Jews are digging 100,000 tons of potash a year from the salty beaches. Then, out of nowhere, there was a bright green meadow, and through it walked the young leader of a new Jewish settlement. He told us about a modern miracle.
4 years ago, 150 of us, young pioneers, dug irrigation ditches through this worthless salty ground and flooded it with fresh water from the Jordan. We soaked the salt out of it for months on end. Then the clean sun-cracked earth began to push forth green blades, and the tender stalks grew up into fields of grain and fruit and vegetables.
This is the principal advantage of machine economy. The development of a new product represents at every stage not the effort of the solitary artist or craftsman striving to attract an individual patron, but the collaboration of groups of artists, scientists, and engineers utilizing a vast and well-organized fund of technological data and having as objectives only these established and impersonal criteria of machine production, function, and performance. This form of organized effort has additional advantages. Here in this modern factory, skilled hands assemble, arrange, and balance parts of a delicately adjusted camera mechanism, parts which may not even have been touched by human hands. For back of the worker are the machines which cut, stamp, turn, grind, and polish parts to within tolerances of 10,000ths of an inch, occasionally to within 100,000ths. Machines with automatic fingers, tireless steel arms, perfect reflexes, sometimes even with electric eyes. As they have since the beginning, instrument makers and lens grinders fashion the modern camera in the tradition of the finest handicraft. Their skill and resources tremendously extended by means of the machine tools provided by the scientist and engineer. In the laboratory and designing room, at the bench, and finally in actual use, the design is tested, trials are made, weaknesses are discovered and eliminated. The creative process as a whole is developed and perfected, crystallizing at last in a master model. There is more than this. Keeping pace with the machine processes as well as preceding them are control methods directed by a scientific staff, checking procedures at every significant stage. The metalloscope, the optometer, the contour projector, the stroboscope, and the photoelectric cell. These are the types of precision instruments with which a well-planned and integrated industrial organization inspects, tests, compares, and analyzes its processes and its products. This procedure is in all essentials identical with the progressive stages in the production of all custom-built cameras and projectors. The result, precision instruments of exquisite accuracy, instruments that reveal a truly aesthetic unity in the quality of materials used, in the brilliant logic of their design, and in their mechanical excellence. Most appropriately, they symbolize the collective efforts of artists, scientists, engineer, and craftsmen in modern industry.
Conceived and financed by the late Andrew Mellon, the National Gallery of Art is today ready for opening. Destined to become one of the world's great repositories of art, it has already received the $50 million Mellon Collection and the fabulous Samuel H. Kress Group. The latest air conditioning is employed. Steady temperature and humidity are necessary for the paintings as well as for human comfort. Glass ceilings are used in the lighting system. There are no lengthy shadows, and cleverly placed spotlights highlight the sculpture. A permanent police force guards the priceless art, and a network alarm system links the entire building. What do they guard? Rembrandt, worth a king's ransom. Lucrezia and Rembrandt's self-portrait. The $1 million Raphael Alba Madonna and Giorgione's Adoration of the Shepherd. Beautifying the rotunda, the fountain and statue of Mercury by Giovanni de Bologna. Van Dyck's William II of Nassau and Orange. Gainsborough's Mrs. Sheridan, a rare portrait by the famous English artist. A world of art in a $15 million marble treasure chest, newest mecca for Washington sightseers.
What a nice day for a picnic, Jim. It's beautiful here. Thank you for bringing me.
Oh, I'm glad you could come, Big Red. You deserve it. You've been working very hard. Oh.
Jim must have been tired. This would be a good time for me to rest my circuits. What's that? I don't believe it. Jim, wake up.
Huh? What is it, Big Red?
Look, a flying saucer. A flying saucer probably filled with green monsters.
Calm down, Big Red. I don't see anything. Are you okay?
Yes, Jim, I'm fine. There was a flying saucer, and it was right there over your head.
Flying saucer, huh? I think you have been working too hard. When we get back, I better check you out for loose wires. Now, I'll drop you off at my house, Red. You go in and relax.
Okay, Jim, but I'm really fine.
Big Red passed Mrs. Brady's house on the way to Jim's house.
How am I ever going to get anyone to believe that I saw a flying saucer?
Big Red, you saw a what?
Oh, hi, Mrs. Brady. I saw a flying saucer, but Inspector Jim doesn't believe me.
Now, Big Red, you'll have to admit that's kind of a wild story.
But I did see one. It was silver and white, and look... just like that one.
You're right, Big Red. It's a flying saucer.
Yeah, and it's probably full of green monsters. Let me out of here.
Easy, Big Red. They're probably friendly.
I hope so, because I think something's coming out.
You're right, but they're so cute.
Cute?
I think they look just like you, but green.
Maybe they are cute.
Greetings, Earthlings. We are from the planet Robotron.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Brady, and this is Big Red.
We know all about Big Red. We know that you are a fire safety expert, and on Robotron we have many fires. Well, we were hoping you could teach us fire safety. When we return, we'll teach everyone else.
Fire safety? Sure. I'd be glad to.
Big Red, let's go through my home and inspect it. You can show them how to make homes fire safe.
Good idea. Let's go.
All recorders on.
Many homes have fireplaces or wood stoves.
Do they help keep you warm?
Yes, they do, but they can be dangerous. They get hot, so things that burn must be kept away. If people have fireplaces, the screen must be closed when they have fires.
We understand that some Earthlings smoke. Can this be a fire hazard?
Yes, a burning cigarette or hot ashes can start a fire.
What are these, Big Red?
These are matches. People use them to light fires.
Do all people use matches to light fires?
No, just adults. Matches and lighters that are found by a child should be given to an adult.
We like that idea. Our children are important.
Let's go into the kitchen for more fire safety tips. Cooking pans should have the handles turned to the side on the stove so that small children won't be able to accidentally pull a hot pan down on themselves.
I bet that would hurt.
Yes, burns are very painful.
A smoke detector is a device that is mounted on the ceiling outside sleeping areas. I test my detector once a month by pushing that red button.
Let me test it. That sure is loud.
Oh, there you are, Big Red. Right next to the space creatures?
Hi, Jim. These are my new friends from the spaceship I saw earlier.
But...
It's okay, they're friendly. They just came here to learn fire safety.
Yes, Jim. Fire safety is very important.
Another question we have is, what should you do if your clothes catch on fire?
If your clothes catch on fire, you should stop, drop, and roll. And cover your face. I'm sorry I doubted you, Big Red. There really was a flying saucer.
Oh, that's okay. I wish I could go in and look around, but it's too small.
We can fix that.
Wow, this is exciting. I'm actually inside a real flying saucer.
This ship is totally automatic. Once the controls are set, the ship travels to the pre-programmed location.
I'd better back up out of the way.
Careful! Big Red! Look out for that lever!
But it was too late.
Turn the loudspeaker switch to on. Attention, Inspector Jim and Mrs. Brady. We are taking off by mistake. Big Red accidentally pushed the automatic takeoff switch. Our destination will be Planet Robotron.
I'm okay, Jim. My friends said they can bring me back in a few days.
Big Red was excited and looking forward to the new challenge on a new planet. But that's another story for another time.
Big strong line, ladies and gentlemen, it's Madison time.
It's basically a satire on two of the most dreaded genres, the teen flick and the message movie. And it's a dance musical also. There's like 25 dance gimmick numbers in it, all that were real dances. The whole movie takes place in 1962.
Mama, welcome to the 60s.
Spoofing beehive hairdos of the 60s, Hairspray centers around the Corny Collins Show, a top-rated teen dance program, and the kids who become instant celebrities through the daily TV exposure. Amber Von Tussle, played by Colleen Fitzpatrick, is the show's reigning teenage princess.
Hi, I'm Amber Von Tussle, a Corny Collins council member. This is my luxurious house. My parents own Tilted Acres Amusement Park. Hi, Corny.
Hi, West Baltimore.
God, he's gorgeous, Penny. Look at her hair. Gosh, I wish mine was that high.
Ricky Lake is Tracy Turnblad, and along with her best friend Penny, they're the show's biggest fans.
My character is a 16-year-old high school student who wants to be on the hottest dance show in 1962 called The Corny Collins Show. And eventually I get on the show. Not only do I get on the show, but I also get the beautiful boyfriend. I win the Miss Auto Show 1963 contest. And I also dance my butt off.
Also dancing to the big beat of the 60s is a mixed bag of stars, including Pia Zadora as the beatnik, Jerry Stiller and Divine as Tracy's parents, Debbie Harry, former lead singer of Blondie, and Sonny Bono, California restaurateur and mayoral candidate.
Amber, I'd like to talk to you.
Yes, Daddy?
I honestly didn't know that much about John or his products, you know, and some of my waiters did, and they went, wow, you're doing John Waters' film? I said, what does that mean? They go, he's weird, man. So I called John, you know, I wanted to be reassured that it was the kind of film it was. I said, look, John, I'm running for mayor. I got to be careful here. He goes, look, it's a PG. He says, it's a PG.
One more spank for lying.
Oh, wait a minute. She has, Daddy, I didn't make a hairdo.
Not only is the PG rating a departure for director John Waters, but Hairspray is the first picture he's done with a budget bigger than a breadbasket.
Now, I know that polyester had a budget of just $300,000. Did a bigger budget for Hairspray make a difference? Its budget was...
Yeah, this was over two. So I just bum money better. I learned how to do it better.
There must be a system there, right?
The subject matter, I realized, was one of my obsessions, one of the few that was palatable to movie executives. I wrote the movie around the music. These are my favorite records. So the dances, basically, I knew how to do most of them. After 2 martinis in the privacy of my own home, sometimes I did them at 3 in the morning.
Though the music is rhythm and blues, the Corny Collins Show is an all-white program. But like the rest of America in 1962, the stirrings of racial integration are a part of the script in Hairspray.
I grew up watching the Buddy Dean Show here, the Milk Grant Show, American Bandstand. There were those shows everywhere. So I exaggerated all that heavily. But all the stuff was true about what integration was like here in 1962. I don't think that's even exaggerated that much. I mean, Ruth Brown said she remembers singing at dances where there'd be a rope down the middle with blacks on one side and whites on the other. And so, yeah, it's not that much of an exaggeration.
Hairspray may be a departure for Baltimore's best-known director in many ways, but the underlying message is true Waters style. It's about people who don't fit in, social outcasts who take their disadvantages and turn them around. It's a film about the Tracy Turnblads of the world and how they triumph and eventually become heroes.
Convoy battle hero, gets home to read about the week he spent in a lifeboat in the Arctic Ocean. Oggins comforts his sister, Mrs. Spencer Verrett, and Spencer Jr., whose father shipped with Oggins but did not return. Little Spencer doesn't realize that his uncle's gun crew shot down 4 Nazi planes before his ship was sent to the bottom.
All Americans are equal in the United States Coast Guard and its training school at Battle Creek, Michigan. Training in the Coast Guard, as in all the armed services, begins with the manual of arms. And so it is with these young men who someday will man our rescue boats and watch our shores for enemy spies to attempt secret landings on American soil. Jiu-jitsu is supposed to be an invention of the Japs, but our boys are trained in a few tricks of rough and tumble fighting that will give any foes who tangle with them a fine view of the rising sun from an unexpected position on the ground. The boys like this part of the daily drill. There is no more impressive ceremony anywhere than retreat in any branch of America's fighting forces, and the Guardsmen pay tribute as Old Glory is lowered at the close of a busy day of training.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in uptown Chicago, right on 4619 Magnolia Avenue. Welcome to the country music of the South. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the boys here now to play for you the old country music. Thank you, boys. Beautiful.
Okay, we're right here in the middle. You know, just right here in the middle, okay, right now. Okay, we got. Okay, this is Broadway, and this is Sheridan somewhere up in here. You got, and if you go up a little past Sheridan, you got Kings and Vice Lords up in here, right? And you got Kings over here, Kings down here. You got Rebels and Gaylords in here. You got Braziers, Disciples, and Royals down here. And you got Kings and Gents down over here, okay? And you got, and we're right with Disciples too, but these Disciples down here, we don't fight with, we're at peace with them. They're over here, they say they just make money, which we do too.
Okay. Peace and nothing. Hey, see y'all later.
We live in the same neighborhood, ain't no sense in, plucking each other off. But there's been times when he's gangbanging with me against Latin Kings, So we'll help each other out, If Latin Kings are getting on these people over here, I'll help them out, because they live in the neighborhood. They don't cause no trouble. That's why we don't fight them, But there's punks in every club, like I said. There's punks in Gaylords, there's punks in Disciples, there's punks in Royals, punks in Rebels. Every now and then, there's going to be a little beef. But we try our best, just to keep neutral with each other.
We fight the same game. We fight the Latin Kings, the Vice Lords, and the Stones. So we fight all the same game. So plus our colors are the same,
So what would have the same?
What are the colors?
Huh?
What are your colors?
Black and blue.
There's many problems over here in Uptown. I don't think that is just unique to Uptown, but I noticed since I've been out here on this corner that a lot of alcoholics have came to me and they said that they wanted a way out of this, that they have been drinking for years and they need help, just like a gentleman is saying right now.
You have made the first step. You got to want help.
And God can help him.
You've made the first step.
First, he must recognize the fact that he
you believe there is a God?
I'm looking for help.
Do you believe there is a God?
Yeah, I believe in God, but and when he comes to they wouldn't take me at Martha working because I didn't have insurance.
But wait, your God's not going to fall out the sky. He put us here. He uses our body to speak to each other. He speaks through us.
You can't quit all at once.
Oh, no. But you got the first step. You got to want to. No, it's not going to do it overnight.
Well, I'm trying to quit.
Okay, start coming to church on service.
I'm coming.
Okay, I'm going to look for you tomorrow.
I'll be there.
Okay.
I am an alcoholic. And God would and I want to get away from it.
You will if you really want to.
Let Uptown be an example to all the communities in the city of Chicago. Let it be a great example. Jesus is calling Uptown into salvation. Now you say, well, I'm a Jew. So what? Who cares what you are? You say, well, I'm a Greek. So what? Who cares what you are? You say, well, I'm Spanish. So what? Who cares what you are? The main thing is that you must accept Jesus as God. That's what you must do. You cannot get to God by Buddha. You cannot get to God believing in no cult like Jehovah.
Got a question for you. What's gay, lesbian, and on TV?
This is the show that's going to give new meaning to Satellite Dish.
A show where people are free to be themselves openly, honestly, and without guilt.
I think it's an exciting time to be a gay or lesbian person in America.
This show is all about coming out. We're really excited about it.
It's gay, it's lesbian, it's television, it's in the life.
Oh, really? You mean this isn't American movie classics?
June 29th, 1969, Stonewall, that historic night when gays and lesbians fought back, signaling the beginning of a new liberation movement. And now, the Christopher Mint is proud to present the Stonewall Collection, a special tribute to that night. For a limited time only, you can own this fine collection of unique handcrafted posable action figures. The Stonewall Collection features Dagger, the Bull Dyke, Ray, the Hustler, John, the Sugar Daddy, Betty, the Femme, Gloria, the Activist, Miss Nina, the Drag Queen, and her friends, as well as those rugged oppressors from the 10th Precinct. The Stonewall Collection. Notice the fine attention to detail, the feather boa and beadwork on Miss Nina, Ray's leatherette hot pants, also available in ultra suede, and of course, Dagger's tattoo. Enjoy them in the comfort of your own home. Order now and receive the handsome Paddy Wagon carrying case. Other Christopher Mint collectibles have already tripled in value. The Stonewall Collection from the Christopher Mint. It's a celebration of liberation. It's a collection you'll be proud to pass on from generation to, generation.
We've scoured the world of adult video to bring you the film that no one has dared to make. Until now.
You look pretty good yourself. Thanks.
That's adult entertainment. It's the all-talking, G-rated, no-action adult film. It's touching. It's tender.
Is it all right if I come over for a while?
It's a compilation of great dramatic moments.
Who the hell are you people?
I'm the delivery man. Hi, I'm Richie. Hi, I'm Kurt. Richie's friend?
It's got intrigue.
You liar!
Liar! Adventure.
I've never done this before.
Dazzling special effects. And death-defying stunts. You'll laugh. You'll cry.
It's my birthday and no one showed up for my party.
You won't believe your eyes. Don't miss That's Adult Entertainment, the only adult video you can watch with your parents.
Enjoy.
Has this ever happened to you?
She's buying tofu, has short hair, and she's wearing Birkenstocks.
Or this?
He knows all the words to cabaret.
Now you can kiss those embarrassing moments goodbye forever with new Gaydar, the patented detection system that lets you know for sure just who is and isn't gay. Gaydar goes everywhere, to your favorite restaurant, to the movies, to the office, even to family reunions.
Dad?
Wear it when you're exercising. Or just wear it around the house.
Fifi!
New Gaydar. Handy, lightweight, foolproof, and available in 12 fashion colors. Order Gaydar now and join a family of satisfied customers.
I found a lover.
I found a softball team.
Don't spend another second wondering. Get Gaydar now. Only $49.95, not available to right-wing senators or television evangelists. New Gaydar, because after all, we are everywhere.
Jack Chrysler, the name it means, watch band quality, presents the Chrysler Bandstand with the best band in the land, with Fred Robbins, Teddy Hale, Ella Fitzgerald, and starring Cab Calloway and his orchestra.
The initials CC on the watch band mean it's His Highness of Heidi-Ho, Cab Calloway.
Thou. Groovy.
Wow. Welcome home from South America, Mr. Calloway, and a special big, fat, warm welcome to the Chrysler Bandstand. ¿Cómo está usted esta noche, Daddy-O?
Oh, muy gracias, Papio.
Oh, oui.
Thank you very much, Freddie. It really is a pleasure for us to be on the Chrysler Bandstand tonight, and we're going to cut it up a little bit. In fact, speaking of cutting it up, I think you better sort of cut out for a few minutes because something is going to go off real soon.
What's wrong?
Jumping in the grass. Where do they hear my shotgun blast? Shotgun boogie. I done saw your tracks. Look out, Mr. Rabbit, when I cock my hammer back. Well, over on the ridge there's a scaly bike. Hickory nuts so big you can see him in the dark. Big fat squirrels, they sass and fight. I'll be on the ridge before daylight. Shotgun boogie. All I need is one bite. Look out for details tonight, he'll be in a fight. I asked her what she got, she said about 14. I looked her up and down, said, boy, this is love. We headed for the breast to shoot a fat dove. Shotgun boogie. The feathers flew. Look out, Mr. Duck, when she draws a beat on you. Well, I sat out on the lawn, took her on my lap. I said, wait a minute, bud, you gotta see my pap. He's got a 16-gauge belt like a rifle. He don't like a man that's gonna trifle. Shotgun boogie. Cause the beat's so fine. Look out, big boy, cause it's loaded all the time. Well, I called on a pap like a gentleman oughta. He said no bush hunter's gonna marry my daughter. He cocked back the hammer right on the spot. When the gun went off, I outrun the shot.
Cab, let me tell you, as a former lawyer to one who studied to be a lawyer, you ought to know better than to go around carrying a loaded gun.
I promise you I'll never do it again, Your Honor.
That's a fact, though. Cab actually did study law at Crane University, right?
That's right,
Out Chicago. That was before he organized the Alabamian.
Uh-huh.
What about that Hepster's Dictionary you used to have, Cab? You still get requests for it?
Oh, yes, that's still going on, the Hepster's Dictionary, yeah.
It's very interesting. I study it once in a while, you know. How would you, for example, describe this suit I'm wearing?
I'd say, Fred, you got on a fine tog there, and you really are togged from your conch to your stone.
Man. Well, I'd have to come back at you and say, I dig your spectacular vernacular, and this is quite a set of threads that are hanging from your bones, too, this 100% pure. Incidentally, if your color attachment is not working, this is a mad red Scotch plaid.
Oh, stop, Daddy.
Oh.
Back with me to talk about Archival Screening Night is Dennis Douras, one of the co-founders of Milestone Films and also the president of the Association of Moving Image Archivists. Dennis, so much to enjoy in there. I really was struck by the Albanian film called Eternity, which had those images set to a heartbeat.
And Albania had been closed to the world for decades, and this film was banned in Albania, so it's really special for them to have given this treasure to us.
What do you think something like this shows about the work that's been happening in other countries when it comes to archiving?
I think there's an excitement about moving images, that there's a recognition that this is our cultural history. This is something to treasure and to preserve, and the word is getting out to the public, and it's very especially important these days because that's how we're communicating this year.
Yeah, I know so much of what we do during this year has been via moving images, and it seems to be more important now than ever as well as new technologies come in. Isn't that right? That we lose a lot every time there's a new iteration of technology. So it's vitally important that we preserve these films.
EMEA is really special. They're collecting films everywhere. I mean, it's not just archives, it's individuals going out and making sure these films are saved, going into labs that are closing, going into warehouses that have been discovered and taking these films out and making sure they are preserved. So EMEA especially has this really vital role in the preservation of moving images. And I should say anybody can join, by the way.
Well, that's good to know because I've actually been on the EMEA website before and I was looking at courses because film preservation and archiving is something that I'm fascinated about, although I don't know if I have the right, kind of qualifications or anything. But what would you tell people who are interested in a career and in doing this work?
Well, first, there is no right path or wrong path. Of course, I was born before there were colleges where you can get degrees in film archiving and digital archiving and everything else. So we do have a website, emianet.org, where you can learn what the schools are and learn what we're doing with webinars and everything else. And we have programs and scholarships for people to get into the field.
Well, that's great to know. And Dennis Douras, thank you so much for joining us and for showing us Archival Screening Night. It feels like that's such a rare treat to see it.
Well, I'm so glad TCM got to share this with everybody, and I'm really thankful.
And coming up after the break, Dennis will be back with me alongside his Milestone Films co-founder, Amy Heller, and we'll be talking about a fascinating documentary about tap dancing. So stay with us.